Hey everyone, welcome back to Outside of Work, where we explore who we truly are beyond our job titles. In this week's episode, I brought on my good friend Jan Regencia. We've known each other for a long time, back to our school days. And in fact, we grew up in the same neighborhood, hanging out, playing basketball, just vibes. And so when I was thinking of someone to come on the show, I was like, duh, of course, we get along so well. And also, the last time I spoke to Jan was last year on his podcast, The Dark Roast. It was such a good time to be able to sit on the other side and in front of a camera for the first time, different than this, and just have a really great conversation. And I know you guys are going to love this conversation. Jan, to me, exemplifies what it means to truly separate work and life. He never posts about work. If anything, it's all about family, friends, any vacations or trips that he's taking. And in this conversation, he gives us a lesson on how to make friends as adults. Apparently, he has way too many. Humble brag much? No, but seriously, it's hard to make friends at this big ass age. He takes us into his creative outlets like podcasting and making vlogs. And he talks about the all-important non-negotiables in his life. I absolutely love this conversation. So without further ado, here's Jan Regencia.
I don't know how you do it. You do like an intro, or is you just go right in?
I just go right in. I got my questions ready. Let me just
All right.
Let me
I'm all for it. And
all
also,
ready.
thank you for having me on the podcast. It's for the first time. It's kind of nice to be on the opposite end,
Yeah.
just being as a guest. And so at the same time too, it's kind of like, I'm not like familiar with this, so I'm kind of ready to see
Yeah.
what I'm going to be answering and being able to at least get some questions for you filled.
Yeah.
So.
No, this is going to be perfect. I just appreciate you even, saying yes to it, to be honest with you, because people are so busy. The summer is so busy. And yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because when you reached out to me, right, and this is what, like 2
months
2
ago.
months, 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did that because I mean we've talked about it before. Like
Mm-hmm.
scheduling is just hard, And then for me, it's like I don't know about anybody else, but probably a lot of people have their schedules going, but it's like you got to get me like 3 months in advance.
Really?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Why do you plan your life out 3 months in advance? You sound like me when I was a producer. Like, that's crazy.
I think because like I'm very like social with everybody. So I like to meet
Yeah?
new people. Like I'm a what's that word? A conversationalist.
Yeah.
So I like to engage with conversation, meeting new people all the time, right? And I've been doing that for years. Starting from high school. I think in high school I was a little more introverted in a way, but then as I guess time progressed, I kind of became more like an extrovert and trying to get to meet new people and get more
Really?
connections.
Was
Yeah.
that on purpose that you wanted to be an extrovert?
I don't know. I feel like yes and no. I feel like I got it from my mom. My mom has so many friends. She has more friends than me.
I love that.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. She knows like her whole island, which is kind of funny.
Wow.
She'll be like, "Yeah, do you know your tita this?" I'm like, "Mom, I don't know
I don't know who that
who
is.
that is." It's like
They helped raise you.
yeah, when you were like 5, you remember? I'm like, "Mom, that was like 20 years ago. You're acting like I'm supposed to know."
Right?
But I think that's where it stems from genetically. But I also think it's also on purpose because I think I had to kind of force myself, like get myself out of that comfort zone and just kind of, you know what, I got nothing to lose. Like they don't know me. I'll get a chance to let them know who I am and vice versa. Like I want to know who you are and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it pertained to this particular point where it kind of gets overdone. Where it's like, damn, because you get along with everybody, then they start to try to invite you to events.
That's fun, though. That's great.
It's fun, but at the same time, it's like, oh, it can be tiring.
I see.
Yeah, but I always go for, just to meet new people, just get to, know what they do, like where they're at in life and stuff like that. But it takes a toll. Like, I think when what's it called? When I have like one of those open weekends, I would try to do what I can to like close it off
Yeah.
just to myself.
Yeah, do nothing.
You probably know,
Yep.
you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, man, like that. Even a one day, just being in the house, kind of just relaxing,
Yeah.
nothing, just focus on me, just gives you like that. Okay, I can recuperate, recover,
Yeah.
and then get back to whatever I do. It's fun though. Like I
Yeah.
love like going to events and stuff, but
Yeah.
it can definitely take a toll, especially doing it for like so long. But then it does affect some friendships in a ways, because then people be like, man, like he's never like around. Like it's so hard to like get him, and it sucks to see that approach, because it's like, damn, now they have to see me as like a guy to get him in advance.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, it's
That's interesting.
right. It's like a weird concept to it. Not all, because like
Yeah.
it's only like my close friends will know, because they know me to a T, where they're like, yeah, it's hard to get him. It's hard to get him because he's either at a wedding,
Yeah.
and we're at that age where everybody, not everybody, but majority are getting married.
Yes. A
Ba-
majority.
majority
Getting children.
children,
Pregnant.
baby showers.
Yup,
Like
all
we're at
those.
we're at that point where it's like people are gonna invite you, and so people that I get along with throughout the years, and then I being able to still stay in contact with, they still will throw the invitation.
That's
So
nice, though.
the only thing for me too is like a psyche thing, because I'm like, I want to go, you know what I mean? But then will it take a toll on me like mentally, because I keep doing this, because it
Yeah.
pertains to like traveling, flying, maybe if it has to be
Yeah.
like outside of New Jersey, or driving. So it's like the concept is kind of just like, damn, like this is just like I want to go because like I know him or her for so long,
Yeah.
and this is such a big milestone for them. So I go because it's for them.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's just like the X factor is like,
Yeah.
damn, I'm gonna be dead in no time, because like I was like that. It's not just that one wedding, and then
Yeah.
there's like another wedding within the
Yup.
next 2 weeks. I actually have a wedding coming.
This man. Speaking of which, I have a wedding coming up.
Yeah, and it's in 2 weeks. It's gonna be in Nashville during like Labor Day weekend.
Have you been to Nashville?
I have not, and
I
I'm
hear
excited.
it's very fun.
It is.
Very
It is. Like
nice.
I heard about it. I was addressed some advices of where to go.
Yeah.
Obviously what's called hot chicken sandwich is what it's called.
I
No.
don't know. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like a Nashville hot chicken or something like that. It's like a standard there in Nashville.
Yeah.
Or maybe just the southern states in general.
Yeah.
And their catfish sandwiches. And obviously the Broadway street where all the
Yep.
that's like the
that's
main.
where everyone does their bridal showers and all that.
Yep, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm anticipating
Or
that.
bachelor parties, rather, bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
That's
So
gonna be so fun. Yeah, so you definitely already. I'm glad I asked you.
I know,
2
it's
months
like-
ago. Like, when are you free? And then you said August. I was like, perfect, because I was out of the country.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out some stuff. So I think this worked out.
yeah,
just
you were doing
fine.
your thing too. You were also
Yeah.
traveling. I know you were in. I saw you were in Paris, obviously, and obviously to see Kitora.
Yeah.
And like she did her thing on the triple jump and
Yeah.
stuff. But also you got a chance to tour around too.
Exactly.
Yeah, how was
Paris.
that?
And I know you've been to Paris too, so I'd love
Oh,
to
yeah.
get your take on it. But give me 1 second.
Go
I
ahead.
want to flip this around just so I can
absolutely.
make sure I can see it. Okay, yeah. So that's just the producer and me. I'm like I'm monitoring 4 things at once.
No, I love that. I like the fact too where it's I can't imagine as a producer like everything has to be set up perfectly.
Oh, are you inside my head? Because
Kind of.
it is chaos.
Kind of. And I'm not a producer like you, but I know it's like that. I would say like an OCD kind of thing where I'm
Yes.
just like, wait, I got to see like
Yup.
the camera angle and making sure it's like perfect for the recording. Yeah,
And then
it's
doing it like
dramatic.
just by myself, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so much.
Right? It's
Yeah,
hard.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
hard.
But you know what? I'm having a good time doing it, and it's fun.
Glad,
But,
I'm glad.
Yeah, so I went to Paris with my boyfriend Andre Kashan, who's Katora's husband, and obviously Katora, and
Yeah.
it was. I like it. I mean, it was only the second European country that I've been to,
Nice.
because the only
Nice.
other one I've been to is England, mainly London. And what a whole 180 if you've ever been to London, because
I haven't been. I
Yeah.
gotta go. Like the only place I've traveled to Europe so far, I only traveled to one. It was Paris.
really, so you've
Yeah.
only been to one European.
Surprisingly,
so
surprisingly,
fascinating.
yeah. I do want to go to London at some point.
Yeah.
But tell me your thoughts. It's a
I
180.
mean, yeah, exactly, because maybe I just went when. The 2 times I've been to London, I went, I guess, when the weather just wasn't that good, because the weather's dreary as all hell.
I think in general, it's like, I feel like UK
yes.
is always just
just
dreary,
dreary. And
overcast,
I
you
heard
know?
that for summer, like their temperature only goes up to 75 degrees. Like that's the high. I'm like 75
That's
degrees,
hmm.
and they have no air conditioning. So last time when they had that heat wave like a couple years ago, people were schwitzing. They were dying. I
Jeez.
know. And so and the food's not that great, to be honest with you. and, and the people are they're okay. So going to France. So going to Paris, I was like, oh my God,
Uh-huh.
there's so much culture. There's so much diversity here. The food is banging.
Oh
The
yeah.
buildings are beautiful. The architecture is great, you
Yeah.
know, and the people remind me of like New Yorkers. So I'm like, I feel right at home. You know what I mean? I know
Yeah,
this
it's like
kind of personality.
yeah, and they have like the history too in Paris. I can't really
Yes.
attest to the UK because I never been, but I can
Yeah.
also see the reasoning. Like whenever I get that time to go there, I'm taking your advice to just kind of, and then when I see it, I'll be like, yeah, Gentrix is right. She right. Weather's doo doo.
I'm gonna give it one day. Like
Food's aight. Subpar in a way.
drinks are great. You know,
Drinks are
like,
great.
the vibes are there.
The vibes are
But,
there.
ugh.
I would say though, I think one thing probably that UK will have some good is like their history,
Yeah.
like the clock tower,
Mm.
and then whatever
Mhm.
history at the time. Like I know like World War II was involved or
Mhm.
whatever, so there's probably like a lot of
Mm.
museums or stuff like that to check
Yeah.
out at least.
I don't know how
That's
to
a
say
gasp.
this.
That's when you know it's not
I
that good.
have a no. I didn't go to the museums on purpose because I
Yeah.
have a tricky relationship with the UK. I just found out
Oh
because
boy.
my friend who lives in Sheffield, which is up north,
Hmm.
she obviously she grew up in England.
Yeah.
She told me they don't teach about Britain's colonization and all the 400 years that they basically
Really?
scoured the world. They
Oh.
don't teach that in UK schools. They don't teach how they
Curious.
basically colonized much of Africa, the Caribbean, India, like all these places. They don't teach them that.
Why? Well, that's literally
Yeah, that's
how
what
we
I'm
get to
saying.
that point. Yeah.
They teach about World War One, World War Two, some random war they won, and the monarchy
Oh, interesting.
and
Interesting.
medicine for some reason. Yeah, that's it.
And medicine for some reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
just because we're just gonna add that into it. But they don't talk about the
They don't talk about
colonization prior
colonization.
to like World War One and all that stuff
No.
like that.
It didn't exist.
Huh.
And
Let's-
I'm like, I'm Kenyan. Kenya got its independence from
Yeah.
the UK in like 1963. That's not that long ago. That was before my grandma was born. And y'all not teaching about that?
Strange.
It was so weird.
strange.
Yeah, so that's why, I mean, personally, I was just like, I have zero interest to go to the museums here, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, because it's like they give history, but they don't give the full history even from prior then.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Y'all
a
are not even,
it's like it's suspect. Suspect is like
I don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe,
All right,
maybe
that's
that's dumb
weird.
on me. Maybe I should go and see and then have a better, fuller, critique of it, but there was
no,
zero.
it's like a
there was
first
zero
impression
interest.
thing. When you saw it, you're
Yeah.
just like, I don't see anything
There's zero
before this.
interest.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because, like I said, I don't know my history like
Mm-hmm.
that, but definitely like colonizations should factor in part of
Into
history.
history.
Yeah,
It's kind of like
it got to
how,
be in the books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially students should learn like, oh, so this is how we got to that point.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Not the
Exactly.
like, yes, we won World War One. Yes, we won World War Two. Great, but show also like the stuff in the past.
Yes.
Because that's
Not everything's
how-
rosy.
Yeah, it's like every
know,
country, nothing and nothing is rosy. Like we got to this point because of this,
Exactly.
but there was a lot of like obstacles
Mhm.
to get to that point. So that's very interesting.
Isn't that wild?
That's-
I couldn't
that's
believe
so
it.
weird.
I could not believe it. I was like, oh my god.
All right, I'm gonna have to look that up. But sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
Exactly. But what did you think of Paris?
I liked it. I was only there for I want to say like 5 days, 6 days.
Really?
So I
That's
got
a good amount of time.
it was a good amount of time. I know in France in general, there's more to it than just Paris.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I got a chance to explore outside of it for a little bit, but
Same.
right, because like there's more.
Mhm.
I had like a few friends that traveled outside, and they were like, "Hey, Jen, I know Paris is there. It's the main, yeah, but you got to go to like outside of
Yeah.
Paris because it's more authentic.
Yeah.
You'll see more like what France is all about." And I'm just like, oh man, if I stayed 2 weeks,
Yeah.
it would have been nice. But Paris, otherwise,
Uh-huh.
I loved it. I just like how everybody dresses there.
Yeah.
Because I love the style to it. Like we come in with like a nice trench coat, pea coat.
Okay.
Yeah, like because I like you know me, like I like to
Yes.
dress a little bit in ways, depending on like what the theme is or what I'm
Uh-huh.
feeling. But seeing like the creativity of how they dress, especially I went in the fall.
Oh
That's when
yeah.
they dressed,
You
and
get
I'm
layers.
yeah, they got their little scarf or I don't know if it's a Burberry scarf,
Yeah.
whatever, but they just look like they're ready to like go out into like a red carpet or something.
That's dope.
Yeah, and then the food was pretty good. I tried for the first time escargot.
Oh, you did it?
I
Me and
was
Andre kept going back and forth. Like, we're like, are we gonna try? Are we gonna try? I was like, hell no.
listen, I was in my head. I was like, if I go to France, the two things I have to try is escargot, and I believe the other one's called duck confit.
Duck confit.
Confit, is that how you
You
pronounce
know
it?
what? I'm probably saying it wrong.
You
You're
might be
probably saying it right.
No, I don't know. I said fey. You know what I'm talking
Listen,
about. Yeah.
my 7 years of French did not help me when
Oh,
we went to France. I was like, and I'm gonna shut up now.
hey,
Yeah.
better than me. I didn't even like go to French class. I had Italian class in high school.
You took Italian?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 didn't do much for me. Did do for. I mean, I know like the simple like como se dice,
Yeah.
ciao, or no, that's it. That's all I can. Maybe like
That's it.
yeah, maybe as we talk to the conversation,
Yeah,
more words
more
will,
will
will start
come.
to pop up. But when I went to France, I think that was the one thing I wish I knew was to learn a little bit of speaking French.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember I went to McDonald's, yes, of all places, because we
McDo.
yeah McDo. We went to you've heard of the Palace of Versailles, right? It's like that golden palace. They got all this, you know, statues and all the artifacts and stuff.
That's
and
the
it's
one place I didn't get to go. I'm so
oh,
annoyed.
you
I
would have
know, I'm
loved
so
it.
mad.
You would have loved it. Did you go to the Louvre at least?
I went to
Yeah.
everywhere else except the Palace of Versailles. It was only a 50-minute train ride, but we didn't get to. It's okay.
It's
Next
okay.
time.
Next time,
Yeah.
next time. But before we because it was me and my family, before we went to the Palace of Versailles, it was really early in the morning, and there was nothing open, but there was a McDonald's that was like, okay, let's just get some breakfast, maybe some pastries and some coffee. At least we have something to eat before we go on this tour, because it takes about I don't know how many hours, maybe like yeah, because it's huge. Like you go into the palace, each room has like a significant importance of either a person's painting or statues, and every room was like a bedroom, but it's huge. It's like huge, yeah. And then not only that, they have like a garden in the back, and that's already bigger than like the house itself. It's just huge.
That's insane.
Yeah, so you get a chance to tour. We did like the audio tour. You get a chance to see like, oh, this painting of this person built this room.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the children's room, and it's like a freaking palace in just that room. And it was funny because going back to it, when we got breakfast, right? I wanted to go get some coffee. So there's like the McDonald's has like the separate of the bakery, the pastry spot. So I went there, right? There's like these two girls, right? Literally, they don't know how to speak English, but at the same time, I don't know how to speak French.
Yes.
So there's going to be like a language barrier at that point. So I walk up to them, right? Like the only thing I could say is like bonjour, like that's all I know. I know bonjour, merci, au revoir, and like oui. 4 words.
That's all you need.
That's all I need. 4 words. And I'm not gonna I'm not gonna lie to myself. Like I'm just gonna straight tell them I'm not from here. You know what I mean? I feel like that's like French people would be appreciative. Like, okay, at least you're not from here,
Yeah.
but you gave it a try.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I went up, I said bonjour, and then they were like bonjour, and I was like, can I get a medium?
Switch
Yeah.
to English.
And they were just like, I'm like, oh, so
this is
this
interesting.
is gonna be interesting. So I had to like kind of point it out to them, like the frappuccino right here. Can I get that one?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was like, yes, please.
Yeah.
And then it got to the what size, and then they start speaking in French of what size, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, and I'm just
You
like,
just started pointing.
and I'm like, yeah, that one. And then like I didn't know, like I had to point out like, can I get like milk or sugar or something like that? And then after that, I was like, merci. Just all embarrassed. I was all embarrassed. I'm pretty sure they felt the same way because they were like turning red too. Because, like I said, it's a language barrier.
Yeah.
I'm like a straight up like I'm from the States. I'm not from here, so I'm a tourist. You can tell.
Yep.
So from that point, I'm like, I wish I had some sort of understand. Like being bilingual would be great. Going in there, at least having some sort of understanding of what they're saying would be so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, Paris was great though. Like I love how the fashion is over there. History wise, you see all the museums, the Louvre, obviously the Eiffel Tower. That's obviously the main. The only thing I heard was I don't know if the Seine River is clean.
Yes.
Is that how you play it? Seine
The
or
Seine.
Seine?
Yeah.
Oh, send me off because I didn't know what the heck I just said. I don't even know what I was like. Seine, right? Is it? Is it
It's
Seine?
the Seine.
Is it Seine?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's okay. It's okay.
Nah, it's not.
They made those poor Olympians swim in that nasty ass river.
I was gonna say that's what I was told. I heard
Yeah.
don't go in that river. I was like, really? I thought it was
It's
clean.
literally been illegal to swim in there for 100 years, but then the Olympics
hell
come
no.
up. They're like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's cool. It's all cool.
No,
it's
that's not. They're gonna have to
gross.
breed that the whole swim ride. Oh Lord.
They're all gonna have 3 eyes
Yeah.
next year.
They come out of the water. They're just like, hey, I'm done. Just the eyes starting to
Mutants.
open. It's like, what happened? I don't know. It was just in the Seine River. And after that, a third eye just came out of nowhere. Otherwise,
I can't believe it.
yeah, otherwise, great place.
Yeah.
Definitely for people that haven't been to Paris, check it out.
Yeah.
Definitely worth like the experience at least.
For
You
sure,
know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Too funny. So Jan, the last time we spoke was around this time last year when I was on your podcast, the Dark Roast podcast.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How's life been since then?
Oh man, super busy. As you
Yeah.
can tell, I think the last time I did a podcast was actually last October.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, I've been busy with like everything. So I changed jobs. Like it was during like the period too where I think around December, January, I was leaving my old job to go to a new job, right? So that factored in. Had a little bit of some like family issues in the past, so it kind of held me up on stuff. But as time like progressed and then I got situated with my new job, right? I tried to start getting back into the podcast, right? I think one of the things that was holding me up for quite some time was the fact was trying to get people on, like scheduling, and most importantly, we're trying to intertwine our schedule. So I was trying to get like 2-3 people on earlier this year, but it just couldn't work out because we just weren't aligned with our schedules, and we're just like, forget it. Like maybe at some point later down the road, like something will open up.
Yeah.
B, they just don't respond, which is fine because usually like when I have people that are like trying to chime in, they'll make the effort to do it, and then if not, then that's cool too. Because I try not to force people to jump into the podcast. Yeah, but lately these past couple of months was been mainly like work, going to the gym. I've been traveling a little bit, and I want to continue to travel more. Because, and obviously the events I was telling you, like weddings, baby showers. So I had a lot on my plate, like going into it while I was trying to at least get back into my podcast.
Yeah.
But it's been so long because I know people that would want on my podcast, they have enough to offer what they bring to the table. Like they would, I had one person that was trying to chime in because he was a, what's it called? He was a trainer, like a gym trainer.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him on because he was, willing to like, oh, like I want to chime in and talk about, how to be disciplined on focusing on where you want to be, especially like as a trainer and even in what you want to do in life. Because it's like sometimes you got to sacrifice things to get to where you want to be. Like sometimes you got to sacrifice hanging out with your friends and stuff like that. So I was like, oh man, like I got to get you on, man. I got to get you on. But it never worked out. Like it never like panned out like how it is. So 3 people. I am actually working to try to get 1, and I think this actually could potentially happen.
Yeah.
We'll see. And you definitely know who this person is.
I do.
Yeah, but I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to surprise you.
Sneak peeks? Any
Sneak peeks? Went to our high school. That's a sneak peek.
Let me look through. There were thousands of people.
Yeah. Check the yearbook.
Yeah.
You can like throw
Our
some.
year?
Next question. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely our year. definitely our year.
Yeah.
Definitely our year. Actually, the one during those 3 that I was trying to get people set up, also from our high school. Yeah, but it just didn't pan out because like I said, intertwining with schedule.
Yeah.
Not only me being busy, but they get busy also. So it's just kind of hard to like mingle and try to get that type of date to be like, all right, let's do it this day, and then something changes. You know what I mean? But otherwise, like I haven't done the podcast since literally like 2023.
Yeah.
It's been a
Since
while.
last year.
Yeah, I got to get back into it. It's
Life is
hard.
that's what I'm saying. Life is
hard.
like that. And that's what I'm
It's
figuring
hard.
out too, because like you're the most recent. I'm like,
Yeah.
I have like these ideas of people that I want, but are they gonna come on? Are they gonna want
Yeah,
to? And
yeah.
are our schedules gonna match up? But yeah,
Honestly, when you shot me the text, and I know it was the first time I think we spoken in what, like months, I think, even after the our
yeah,
podcast last year. And so when you sent me like, hey, like, I actually have a podcast that I just made recently, I got so excited
yeah.
because I was like, wait, what? And then when you were like, hey, like, I want to invite you if you want to be a guest on my show, I was first of all honored because, knowing you for so long and then realizing that you started a podcast got me so excited. And then being able to be a guest and being able to, express some things of how I'm doing in life, it's wonderful. And being on the opposite end instead of being a host
Right,
in a way,
right. Isn't it different?
it feels
It's way
different. It feels
different.
different. Yeah. It's kind of nice though, because it's like, I know you're doing it in the moment right now where it's like, damn, like I'm doing all the work. I have to do like the setup. The guest, all the guest has to do is just sit there and just talk
Yeah,
about the questions I'm going to throw at. So it's kind of like I feel for you with
yeah.
the podcast. When did you start, by the way? I didn't. I
Oh
was
my gosh, like 3 weeks ago, or like,
3 weeks ago. That's
yeah,
so
the
new.
first episode, I know, literally very new. The first
Oh
episode
wow.
aired like, yeah, it was end of July, like July 24th, something like
Oh,
that.
that's literally like a month
Yeah.
ago. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And it's
awesome.
so funny that you mentioned being on your podcast because like when I came on and you asked me to come on, obviously I was like, oh, whoa, I don't know why you would want to talk to me, but okay,
Yeah,
sure. And so in that moment, I never would have thought that I would start a podcast myself. Like that was
that's
never
awesome.
in my bingo cards until, life happens and yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then now
yeah.
we're here.
What made you click to want to do? I can tell you what it clicked for me when I wanted to do
Yeah. I'd
podcasting.
love to hear you first.
Oh, so mine's it was so natural. Like it was just like one of those things where like I didn't just like you
Yeah.
did not expect it. It started in 2020, so during the pandemic.
Yeah.
At the time, like I was, working. I was able to work at home, which is great, and
Yeah.
luckily, blessing that the company was an essential company, so I was able to work remotely the whole time.
Good.
Obviously, as you're working remotely, you got to have like some sort of setup for your office. So as time progressed, I started like continuing to add more stuff to my, to my desk or whatever, and I wanted to, be more minimal where I can easily move things around. And then I realized, I feel like I can do like a podcast the way it's set up. And then I had a few friends that were like, dude, you are pretty good with like conversing with people. Why don't you do a podcast? And like they seen like my setup in the basement. They're like, you can literally do like a video podcast or even audio because that's much easier.
Exactly.
But
Right
because of
here.
because of the way it was set up, it's like you got to at least show the background of what you have.
Yeah, which is a nice background. It's a nice setup.
I appreciate it. It's very simple, like nothing crazy, just a desk. Well, I got two desks. It's like the L shape, and then I connected the other desk. That's where like the podcast setup is gonna be.
Exactly.
And then obviously like those vibe lights. I got like those two long lamps on like both sides to make it more at home.
Yep.
And so as time progressed, I was like, we're in 2020. There's not much going on except maybe doing hiking or going to the beach because everything is like closed at the time.
Exactly. Everything was closed.
Yeah. So I realized, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do it a podcast. Like, so the first thing when I tried to set up was, okay, I need a mic. I see. No. You're good. You're good. I need a mic, and I need to figure out like who should be my first guest.
Yeah.
So thankfully, shout out to Rich. He was my first guest on my podcast, right? So I was kind of trying to explore my theme
Yeah. Yeah.
of
it
the
was,
podcast. Yeah. So like you know how you have your theme? What's it called? Like outside of work?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a nice theme, right? There I was trying to explore like, all right, I'm gonna do a podcast and I don't know what we're gonna talk about.
You'll figure it out
we're
along
gonna
the way.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out
Yeah.
along the way. So we get to my podcast, and so I named the title Romanian Aviator.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
So I think because I don't even remember why I called it Romanian
Yeah.
Aviator, but he's from Romania, so that's one.
Okay.
So his whole family is like from Romania, right? I don't know if his dad's a pilot or something like that, but I did mention a story that he talked about on a plane. I think it's something with his parents involved, and that's how he kind of got
Oh, wait, this
to.
is the title of the episode, not the title of the podcast.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
Title of
okay,
the
that's
episode.
I
I'm
was like
sorry. I'm sorry.
Romanian Aviator. It
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to
yeah.
be
Sorry,
dark
sorry, sorry,
roast.
sorry, sorry,
Okay,
sorry. First
enough.
episode was called Romanian Aviator.
Gotcha,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gotcha.
That was the episode, and then the dark roast really was the meaning of it was dark as in not because of coffee,
Yeah,
because obviously that's the first thing you would think when you hear
yeah.
dark roast, but dark was because you're gonna go into a place where you're gonna converse in depth about what the topic is going to be. So we can talk about your lifestyle, but we're going to go farther than that because I know you've been through a lot of obstacles in your life to get to this point. So tell me, how did you get there? Where's the origin of how you started that lifestyle? And were there any sacrifices? Were any issues in the past that kind of was like, damn, like I can't, I have to like move forward and you know, because it's like those big decisions. It's like choosing like, I want to choose this lifestyle and career, or I'm going to choose this route.
Yeah,
Never any right or wrong answers. It's just going from the heart.
yeah,
I think every individual is on the same boat. You know, wherever they want to partake in their lives successfully, like they know that there's going to be experiences that it's going to be bumpy, you know? And I like to kind of put that in there. I always like to make sure they feel comfortable,
yeah,
you know, because like the first thing I would do is, you know, make sure like that's why the vibe lights. Do you want some water? Do you want some coffee? We'll
Yeah.
talk a little bit,
yeah.
and then we'll jump into the podcast. Because like, you know, depends on the person. They'll get nervous. Like they definitely because
Because this isn't normal.
it's
If you
not
think about it,
normal.
no one just
Yeah.
sits here with recording their conversation.
Exactly. Like it's like one of
Yeah.
those things like, oh damn, like the camera's in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that they don't think the camera's there.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts off a little bit bumpy at first in the beginning of the podcast because they're just kind of like
Still getting warmed
yeah, they're
up.
getting warmed up. But as you can tell, as minutes progress, they start to like realize the camera doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I love that because
That's the best.
they're continuing to eye contact me
Yeah.
like straight. And so once I see that, I'm like, okay, he or she is comfortable to, you know, say what they want to say and how they feel once I ask these questions to them.
Were there any conversations that you had that you came out of it like maybe learning something new or being like, whoa, dang, I never looked at something like that before?
Oh, absolutely. I think like every episode I learned something. I think I had one buddy of mine. He was, I think he's like 24 now, but when he was on my podcast 2 years ago, he was literally, you know, going to school for, I don't know if it was for business, but I can see him like graduating business, getting an MBA, because he has like this mentality where it's just like, I want to strive to be where I want to be. And so it's not just the psyche, but it's just the work ethic that he was doing was insane. And it made me feel like, damn,
What am I doing?
what am I doing? You know what I mean? You know what he did? He, one semester,
Yeah.
so him and his brother, I think the father, they own like a deli up in what's called Newton in
Nice.
Sussex County, right? So they have another deli kind of like a little bit down, maybe 5 minutes away. And so him and the older brother run that other deli. It's a newer
nice.
one, right? So he told me he legitimately goes to class in Virginia, like Virginia from like, I don't know what his schedule is like, but it's during the week. And then when the weekend comes around, he drives like 7 hours back to run the deli.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday,
Whoa.
and then drive back 7 hours to Virginia for classes. And that was during a semester.
Whoa.
And then I asked him, like, what clicked? Like, what made you want to do that? You know, nobody, I don't want to say nobody, maybe a few could, but a lot of people would not be willing to commit to that.
That's
And
a
he's
lot.
just like, I just want to do it. Like, it's just like, it's like that, and that feeling of like motivation, you know, and then seeing him kind of like, I'm just going to do it because I want to get to this point in my life. I'm at a young age, but, you know, if I keep doing this route, and I think he's already at that point where I think he's trying to like run businesses.
Yeah.
So it made me think to myself, like, man, it's so hard to be, you know, consistent and motivation. You know what I mean? Because sometimes there's days where I felt like, yeah, I'm motivated. And then sometimes like I'm going through something and you just feel like you're like out of place for a while. So the hardest thing is just kind of, okay, how do I keep going, even if I'm going through whatever situations I'm in? You know what I mean? So he kind of made me realize, like,
Mm.
okay, whatever I go through, it's life.
Mm.
You know, yeah, it's gonna whatever it is, it's gonna be interesting because your emotions play a part in it. But at the same time, too, like you want to still continue to be great and to thrive. So I've always learned from that, realizing like, man, if this kid is like 21, he's doing this thing, then I gotta, continue to motivate myself in life too. Also, another thing I think I remembered was I think I had a conversation with about like what's it called, non-negotiables and negotiables
Okay.
in relationships.
Oh.
So it was an interesting one because I had my one friend. She was, shout out to her. Like she was able to hop on and be able to talk about like the negotiables and non-negotiables and how the importance of the relationship it would be to talk about those two
Yeah,
aspects.
yeah. People don't. That's
Yeah.
something definitely important at the beginning of relationships,
Yeah.
and maybe even
Yeah.
sometimes in the middle of it, you guys are in a rut. But yeah, what was she saying that you took away from that?
No, she was saying like what factored is, you know, this is the make or break.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's a non-negotiable that you both can agree on, it's going to be a problem because it's like you're disagreeing on this, I'm disagreeing on this. And like I remember her saying like, "Oh yeah, if my dad tells you like he might not be the one for you, that's huge."
Oh,
And family to me, I know family is not negotiable. I don't know about you, probably it is. It's like if my family like doesn't approve you, then they see something that I can't see, and I'm like,
interesting. I see
yeah,
it. I don't.
it's
That
like,
part I'd have to disagree with. I
oh
don't know
really?
why, but I definitely value what my family has to say. I value
Mm-hmm.
our relationship, and like my
Mm-hmm.
family is like number one on my list.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, if they didn't approve of my
Mm-hmm.
partner, I'm not so sure I would just let that partner go. If I'm being
Oh
on,
really?
no, because
Okay, gotcha,
one, they're not
gotcha.
in the relationship with me. Two, have I feel like, you know what I mean? Like the things you go through, like it would have to be
Mm-hmm.
something egregious. Like my mom was like, this man is a scammer or something, or
Oh
he's not treating
yeah,
you right, that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
So it had to be something egregious. So I'd be like, all right, I see that. But if they're just like
Mm-hmm.
on some like maybe cultural thing or
Yes,
being petty, I'm like, no, because I know my relationship, I know this person, I want to build a life with this
but
person.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't know, I think it would depend.
It would
Yeah.
defend. Yeah, I always felt for me, it's like I know my parents to a T, and so I guess it's the way how I grew up. You
Mm.
know what I mean? So when they read it, they're good at reading things. So
So you trust that, you
I
trust
try I
their
trust that,
intuition. Yeah.
but I do want to say though, like even if I trust that, I still want to ask the questions first
Mm-hmm.
to that significant other before I even like take the no, I'm done. Like if my parents telling you, I want to ask the questions and like be like, hey, my parents are bothered by this. You know what I mean? And they're having like iffy feelings about it,
Yeah.
and so I want to talk to you first. So obviously like communication is like the factor here because it's like, all right, let me get to
Mm-hmm.
see first before I even make a
Before you
judgment
cut it
call. Yeah,
off.
before I
Yeah.
make the judgment call. Yeah. So that's why I put the parents as like for me personally, like
Yeah.
as a it's like a non-negotiable. I guess our approaches are different. It's because I guess how I was growing up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But going back to it, in that topic, her dad was a definite like, if he's making the call, that's a sign. But
Interesting.
she will like talk to that significant other to see, hey, my dad told me this. Like, is this true? Like, he's seeing it like consistently.
Gotcha.
It's not like a first time thing. You have to see it
Yeah.
constantly to
Uh-huh.
have him realize the vibe and like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Another thing
That's
too,
interesting.
she had another non-negotiable where it was
Yeah.
like hygiene
Oh
was
gosh,
a
yes.
definite.
Don't be
Yeah.
dirty. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
it's like she's like, yeah, if you're like bo like every day or you like bad breath and you like don't brush your teeth, like that's not for her. It's not like a non-negotiable turn
That
off.
shouldn't even be a question. We're
Yeah.
adults here. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, it's like that's why like it makes me laugh. I'm just like, yeah, that's true. Cause like if you like don't shower. Like it's like, oh my god, like I have
Like
to deal with it like
what?
every day.
How
Yeah.
do you live with smelling yourself? I never
No, I
understand
can't.
that.
I couldn't. I can't do it. I have to like
Yeah.
even today. Like I showered today, like before I
Mhm.
got here.
Mhm.
And I even like put on some like deodorant. I even put on cologne. I put like just like 2 sprays of
For
cologne. I
me,
walked.
Jan, don't say
Of course. For you, it's been so long. It's been so long. But like, yeah, I can't. Maybe 1 or 2 days of not showering for reasons. Okay, fine. But you're
Yeah.
like more than 2 days. Like, holy,
That's
yo,
wild.
like, all
Like,
right,
let's get it together
let's
here.
homie.
Sometimes I do 2 showers. If I work out like one in the morning, if I
Yeah,
work out another one in the evening, like that's what's
that right.
happening.
That's what's
That's
happening. So
crazy.
that was another
Yeah.
non-negotiable. The negotiables on that end
Hmm.
is that's like a it depends on whatever that topic is that they both disagree to, but they can work something out.
Yeah.
So I forgot. It's been so long since that conversation, but you did mention some non-negotiables. Were like, okay, like maybe you're what's it called? You're not into like my culture or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah, it's like okay, but yeah, like for some, it's like okay, we can try to work something out. For others, like that's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
But I can see like some people trying to work
Yeah.
things out in a way. I remember it kind of reminded me of like my cousin who got married in 2012. So he's obviously we're Catholic, right? And the woman he married to is Indian, and her religion's I believe it was Hinduism, right? So obviously that religion is another
Yeah,
thing
that's
that's kind of like
huge.
it's huge, right? So somehow they like I don't know to that degree of how they worked it out, but they somehow worked it out.
That's good.
Yeah, I guess because love is another thing.
Yeah.
Like yeah, there's a religion thing, but nothing beats like love.
Yeah.
Like because you both
You'll
want to
work it
fight for
out.
yeah, you want to fight for each other. So I can see that being like the factor of like we're gonna try to do this, even though like yeah, there's like different religions and different differences on it, but we're gonna make sure like both sides can agree to this and
Yeah.
whatever the conversation was.
That's good.
So that wedding, they got two weddings.
Of
They had
course.
they had the Catholic wedding
Love it.
and then the Hindu wedding.
Isn't that like 3 days? So
Yeah, I don't even know. Like this one was like it was definitely hours, not
but
days.
it wasn't like multiple
It wasn't
days.
multiple days, thankfully.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
Now I
okay.
remember my cousin, he like during the ceremony, or I guess the end of the ceremony. Now we go outside of this hotel. This is in Woodbridge,
Mm.
and outside the parking lot, there's a horse. So he's like, "All right, you're gonna have to jump on with your wife," like, and I guess it's part of the tradition,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
So we have to dance around like 5 laps
Oh my gosh.
with him on a horse, and we do like the what's that called, the twist the light bulb, turn the
It's the light
doorknob,
bulb dance
stomp
move.
the fire. Yeah, like it was so fun though. It was so fun, but at the same like it's like going back to it, it's just they worked it out.
Yeah,
So it's like
that's beautiful.
yeah, it's beautiful. It's hard though because I can't imagine like oh they're like Catholic, oh they're Hindu, like
Hmm.
we're gonna be on disagreements on some things, but whatever the case is, it's like love wins. And just
Exactly. At
it
the
kind of
end of
goes it
it.
kind of goes from there. Yeah,
Nice. Are you in a relationship? I've seen some stuff on social media, but I
I
never like to
was.
assume.
I was. It
Yeah.
was like with her, we broke it off in January.
Mm.
So it was one of those things. It wasn't long actually. We started talking in July, and
Of
then
last year?
of last year, yeah, and then we made it official on like November, but we broke it off like late January,
Mm.
because I think we had some. It was nothing anything crazy or anything, but we had like a bit of differences. I know I held my end of like the bargain where I'm definitely was accountable on some things I wish I could have been better on,
Mm.
and I believe same with her. You know what I mean? Like I wish like I could have improved on what I could have been better on in the relationship because she was a good person, like a really good person. Nothing wrong with her. We just weren't compatible. I
Mm.
think also too we had different lifestyles because I'm always like on the go.
Yeah, and what was she more of a homebody?
I don't want to say homebody. I think she was more I don't want to say homebody, but she's more like I guess comfortable in areas she's familiar with.
Okay.
I think in a way. I don't know if like
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so whereas in you like to explore, try new things, meet
Yeah.
new people,
Yeah,
explore
yeah.
different things, she was more like, I like what I like. I like what I'm familiar with. Am I reading that correctly?
I believe so. Yeah. But like I said, you know, she is the one that would give it a try, like give
Okay.
it a
Oh, that's
shot.
good then.
Yeah, but like there was definitely some things that kind of panned out, not just because of the different lifestyles. I think more ahead it was like the communication. Like I think what I was going through during that time from December to January, I had a bit of family issues. Like I said, the job transition was happening. I honestly, you know, at one point felt like disconnected. You know what I mean? Because the family issues was like the main priority, and of course I want to put her on my priority. You know what I mean? It just got hovered by all these other stuff.
Exactly.
So it's like the timing was wrong. Like I said, that added on to the incompatibility between us, and that's just kind of it was crazy too because like she broke it off. So I understand. Like I completely understood. Like I actually wanted to.
Jan's not gonna
Yeah,
be like, it was mutual. Yeah, we
yeah,
both came to the
yeah.
consensus.
We tried. Like I do want to be friends with her, but it's just hard. Like it's like
Oh, would you be
yeah,
friends with the next?
it's yeah. That's the thing.
You would be friends with the
We
next?
ended mutually, but then for some reason like because I'm like the type where I would try to be friends, but then I'm thinking to myself like, you know, we broke it off, and then just seeing her with another guy, it's just gonna be weird.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
I just
that's
don't.
why that's why I like
I
you
don't
know
think I could. I'd be like,
yeah
oh, so we're done here. It's been
yeah
nice.
yeah we tried to attempt, but at the end of that the break off, right, like I even was like I need space, like
Yeah.
I need space, and like I need time to, and like I said, I would say it ended mutually, but even after, because we once we're in a relationship we're in, you know what I mean, like there's no turning back, and when you break it off, like I can't speak to you. Maybe later down the road we can be
Yeah. After
friends
some
after
time.
some time, but like at the same time too, like I need my space.
Yeah.
Like perfect timing too. When the breakup happened, I started my job the day after,
Dang.
so it was like perfect timing because then I can just distract myself with work, focus on focus on the family issues going on, because that was actually the main like lock in my head where like all right, I gotta like figure this thing out with like the family stuff while I was transitioning to a new job. So, but I don't want to make any excuses though, because I know like I wish I could have been better.
What do you think you could have been better on?
Being able to communicate and probably read her emotions. You know what I mean? Maybe there was times like I just wasn't reading it too well. I feel like
Was she expressing like herself, or was she saying, I have an issue with this? I would like us to, fix this. Were you guys having those conversations? Because at the
I
end of
feel
the day,
like
you can't read someone's mind.
I actually had like the strange like random feeling where I was like, man, why does this feel like one sided? Because initially for me, like I was
The relationship felt one sided.
in a way for me, yeah, in a way for me, because like I thought like what's it called? I kept like initiating things, right? I'm like, hey, like, are you free Wednesday? You want to do FaceTime? Hey, are you free Thursday? Like, you want to go grab dinner or something like that, right? But for some reason, I felt like she was never doing that for me. Like she was always supportive of the plans. Like, hey, what are you doing? Like, if I say, hey, what are you doing on Wednesday? She'd be like, oh, like I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything. What's up? Like, do you want to grab dinner? She'll like, yeah, sure. And then either she'll have an idea like, oh, like maybe we can meet here, blah blah blah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just that the prior to that would bother me because it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to say like I don't mind doing it, but doing it all the time, and then
Yeah.
for her like and on her end she doesn't. Maybe like one time when she invited me to like one of her close friends event, okay, that's fine. But I'm talking about just you and and I for some reason I just started continuously doing it. It's just like, man, this is weird. Like
Yeah.
it feels kind of one sided, and I don't. Wouldn't it be like a balance in the relationship? It'd be
Yeah.
nice to have like some sort of acknowledgement that you want to see me too.
Exactly. You want someone to be excited to hang out
Right,
with you and
right.
create
So
things with you. Yeah.
yeah, so it was like that, and then
I got you.
that's why. And keep in mind too, that was the first relationship I had since literally like what, high school.
Really?
Yeah, I was always like I said, I'm always on the go. And when something clicks with somebody, like it just naturally happens. It clicked with her because like her and I like got along. Like we actually met 2 years before that,
Yeah.
and then we just bumped into each other again, and then we just really hit it off. So like I remember just asking for a number, and hey, like do you want to go get lunch or dinner somewhere, and then kind of like went from there. So it really was like a natural thing that happened. It just at the end of it just
Yeah.
didn't click well,
work
or
out.
yeah, it didn't work out. Like I said, I tried. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like a friendly person at the end of it, where I want to be mutual with you. But then this other part of me was just like, no, like you need space.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be weird to see her with some guy, and vice versa. Like if she sees me like talking to other girls, like, but it just we just didn't click. I just felt like we should have been better on like communicating how we felt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
So
and hey, listen, you can't force anything, and if you feel like you did the,
mm,
you put your
yeah,
all into the relationship, then it is what it is, you know? Sometimes it's not meant to
yeah,
work out, and that's okay. And then we keep it pushing and we take those lessons from that relationship into the next
yeah.
one, I think.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
Like I said, I definitely took like a few months to kind of get back on my
You
feet.
can't blame yourself for being heartbroken. That's
It is.
heartbreaking.
It took time. It
You're
was
like
just like
opening
damn.
yourself up to someone, and then it's like it
Yeah,
doesn't work out, and then it's like, oh man, I gotta do this all over again. That's like so
yeah.
heartbreaking.
Luckily, like I said, the best thing that kind of happened, it ended early.
Yeah.
Because if it was longer,
You
it would have sucked. It
really.
would have been worse. Yeah, like the break would have been the heartbreak would have been longer tenure because of like more memories with that person. But because it was only what, yeah,
July to
July,
January, like
yeah,
seven
July,
months.
7 months. It wasn't
Yeah.
too bad,
Okay.
and it was like, you know, yeah. The sucky part was because she was able to know like the stuff like what I was going through, and
Exactly.
then now that it ended, it's just like, damn, like I gotta restart again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At our
So,
big ass age. No, I'm kidding.
yeah. Hey, 30. You know what's funny? Like, you know how like people say, "Oh, 30 is like, you're gonna feel different."
Yeah.
I honestly, when I hit 30, like, kind of felt the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe maybe the only thing that changed is like my body slowly deteriorating.
Bro, the way my
Like, I don't
knee,
know.
the way I have to
Yeah.
like do stretch now just to
Yo.
make sure like I can use my knee for the day. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
dude, it was like, man, you should see me every week, once or twice. I have like an appointment for like my massage therapy
Oh, you have to.
and chiropractic.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
crazy.
When you get old, everybody's like,
Yeah.
"I'm done, bro. I've been holding
Yeah.
you up for
Yeah,
30
when you're
years."
traveling,
Yes, that
too, like it
too.
takes a toll. That's
It
why the
does.
the whole thing that I told you from the beginning, right? Where I'm like, yeah, I'm just like caught up with so much events going on. I can't even do my podcast at the moment because of like
Mm-hmm.
this. Obviously, like the whole like breakup thing and stuff
Yep.
like that. It was just a lot on my plate.
It's a lot.
So it's just like one of those things where you just focus on you, get through that,
Mm-hmm.
get through this, and then you're gonna heal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how like you know I'm thankful. Like I said, I'm blessed to at least partake in that relationship because I learn like what I want later down the road. You know what I mean? And like I said, nothing wrong with her, great person, but
It didn't work
we just
out.
didn't intertwine or
Yeah.
click, I guess, at
Yeah.
that point. So hey, at least like moving forward, like whoever the next person is, at
Yeah.
least I know like what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
And what are you looking for in a partner?
what like they know what they want in life. Like I always felt, for me, I always, appreciate someone that enjoys to travel.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. It's hard because it's like I'm always, like I said, I'm always on the go. But if there's someone that also appreciates, traveling, not because just to travel, but to,
Mhm.
see new things, you know, see like new culture and all that stuff, like that would be awesome.
Mm.
Also, too, like, knowing what they want in life, like where they want to be in their careers, like I find that so attractive. Like they're determined to be like, I want to be here and I want to work my butt off to get to that point. And
Gotcha.
I'm like, damn, that's pretty hot.
Yeah.
You might want to repeat that again, please, so that way I can really kind of process.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I can really like need to fan myself, and also too, obviously,
Yeah.
good family dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have a good relationship with your family, that hits because it feels like home, because that always be if you have like somebody with like a maybe a broken family and stuff like that. I don't want to say it could lead on to like big issues. Like I honestly think you can work things out even with someone that has a broken
Yeah.
family.
You create your own
Yeah, you
family.
create your own family. Yeah. But to have like that dynamic and knowing that you have a good family and like
Yeah.
they discipline you well, and they want you to be successful, like
Mm-hmm.
that area is like, all right, yeah, you seem like you know what you want to do, you're situated.
Mm-hmm.
I the funny thing is too, it's like, I do want to have kids at some point in the future, max two.
Max.
Max at 2. I cannot do more
Yeah.
than, if you give me more than 2, we're done. This is gonna be a lost cause.
You're gonna end up having triplets.
Yeah. Do you know how much money per kid?
It isn't.
It's
I saw the number. It was
crazy. Oh my
something in
gosh.
the
Yeah.
Oh,
It,
kids are a lot.
it's a lot.
So
Yeah.
I definitely get it. And I mean, you're one of two as well.
Yeah.
So
As I grew up, I started realizing, I told my parents, like, I'm just gonna thank you guys every day for, handling us even in our like teenage years. Like, it's now thinking to myself, like, man, imagine if like I have a kid, like, holy crap, like
yeah,
that thing is gonna be, the center of my life. And, like, I
exactly.
want to make sure this baby is
Yeah.
well groomed, taken care of, goes to school,
Hmm.
make sure they're at like their, at their best,
Hmm.
and at the same time too, making sure they take care of us as we get old.
That's how it should be. And
It's
I
it should
think
be. Yeah.
Kenyan culture, Filipino culture,
Yep.
family is very much at the center of
Yep.
our lives for sure. Boy, girl, does it matter to you?
That's a great question. Actually, I think it doesn't really matter to me. Maybe a boy, because if it's a girl, like, I don't want to say I'm gonna be overprotective, but
Mm.
definitely for sure I will be protective
Hmm.
in a way. And then it's just, I don't know. I'll just been damn. I have to deal with this guy, like your boy. Like, if this is your boyfriend. Like,
Is it because you know how boys are, or why is that you would be overprotective
I don't know. I think it's just
over the girl versus if you had a son? Why?
oh man, that's a great question. I don't know. It's like, say for like if it's a girl, right? Like, I would legit. I like I learned from my dad, because my dad, I think, is a very protective. Especially I have a sister. I have
Hmm.
a sister.
Yeah,
He's
a younger
protective
sister.
of
Yeah.
her, right? Yeah. So for me, like, I want to be the guy to make sure like they're protected. Son, if it's a boy, I feel like I would, let them do them. But at the same time too,
But why? You're
I
not
don't
answering
know. I
why.
don't know. It's weird. Like, I don't know why. It's like a weird. Maybe it's a genetic thing. I don't even know.
I don't know.
It's a
I
mental.
want to get down deep into the
It's weird.
answer of it. I'm curious if you think it's like you feel like the
Hmm.
girl should be more protected just because of what life, just the way society is and the way it treats women, or because you're a guy and you know how guys are and you're like, I want to protect you from that.
It's really.
Yeah.
I think it's that. Like, this. The as a guy, I've seen it. So it's like, not the what's it called? Not to be anything like ridiculous or anything, but I do protect because of how guys are. Like, usually, like, our dicks be talking. You know what I mean? Like,
You
it's
think
like,
with the other brain, with the
yeah. So
other
you think
head.
with the other brain, right? So it's like I said, I'm not like gonna be like I don't know how I'm gonna be,
Yeah.
but I know for sure I will be in a ways protective. But I want to be also like lenient. Like, if this
Okay.
guy is a good person, okay. But I swear to God, if this guy literally is like a badass, hard ass, and like like does like dumb shit like all the
Mm-hmm.
time, then we're gonna have problems.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're gonna have problems.
I
So I
got
think
you.
it's more tuned in that way. Because like I said, as a man, like, I want to protect my loved ones. You know, like my sister. Like, I want to make sure like she's protected. She's with the right guy.
Hmm.
But if it's a wrong guy, I'm gonna be like, hey, listen, like, you gotta double
Yeah.
check with this dude.
Have a
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's more
feel
towards
you.
that. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
good question because like I'm trying to figure out why. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Cause I hear that a lot, and I'm just kind of
yeah.
like, do y'all just not want to raise your sons? Cause then now we have to deal with it.
Son, yeah, it's weird because like then with the son, it's like, man, you're right. 'Cause it's like a double edged sword. You know what I mean?
It's interesting
It's
to
an
me.
interesting
That's just what I
concept.
say because,
Yeah,
well,
I think with a son, I'll be like, don't do anything stupid.
yeah.
The one thing I would ease like with this, if I have a son, is the fact, like, if you get a girl pregnant at a young age, I'm going to like slap the hell out of you. Like, that's literally like, yeah,
That's rule number one.
that's
At
rule
least
number
make
one.
it past.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the son part. Like, if I have a son, like, I want to make sure you're disciplined.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to respect women.
Mhm.
Respect them. Because, like I said, it's like our dicks are talking all the time, but
That's interesting.
it's yeah, it's a weird like.
Yeah.
That's just how I work.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
yeah, as for like a daughter, sister, or even a
Yeah.
mom, like, it's just like I have to have some sort of protection.
I got you.
Yeah. So
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
yeah.
And so, shifting gears a little bit here. So, this show is called Outside of Work, where we
Hmm.
explore who we truly are
Yeah.
beyond the context of our jobs.
Hmm.
And so, who is Jan? Who would you say you are when you clock out?
Oh man, when I clock out, conversationalist. Like I said, I enjoy to meet new people. I go to events. Sometimes I could be an introvert because I need to have that recovery time. So I'm always going to be like trying to meet people, try new things out. That's who I am. Like I always enjoy like being everywhere. That's like my lifestyle. At the same time too, like I always want to try new things. Podcasting. Before podcasting, I did vlog a little bit.
You still
I
vlogging? I
still
saw
vlog.
the Rhode
I
Island
did. Did you
one.
saw the Rhode
Yeah,
Island, right? Yeah, I
that's why
still.
I was like creeping on all your content.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you creeping on. Get the views. At least I
Uh-huh.
appreciate like because I don't know. Sometimes like I don't say anything because like I'll let people want to watch it if they want to
Yeah.
watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it more of like a creative outlet for you or what is it? Because I saw that like
Mm.
even your shot composition and the way you like visually tell a story has progressively gotten better the more vlogs that you
Y-
did.
Yes,
So
it's like
yeah.
it's like a. I try to make it like a story, like a theme. So, in my aspects in terms of like creativity, you know, I've tried to realize like where the location is, and then not only that, I try to find like the right music. So
Mm.
if you look at the Rhode Island music, it was an '80s music. I think it was called "You" by George Duke,
Mm.
and that song was like what 1980s, I think.
Mm.
But for some reason, it hit right because you're in Rhode Island. Like the theme is like kind of like peaceful, kind of like I don't want to say yacht type of vibe because you're on a
Oh,
pier.
the Rhode Island definitely gave me yacht
Yeah, it
vibes.
has like
It
the yacht
definitely
vibes,
did.
right? So
Uh-huh.
I wanted to,
Best beaches too. I love their
dude, the
beaches.
beaches are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like I use that to, lure the viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you got to check out Newport because they have this, 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 and I try to make it like positive energy, positive vibes, while we're biking on. I forgot the name of that island
Mm-hmm.
that we were at, but you go there, you go back to Newport, different dinners, different drinks, different places to check out, and that's kind of like how I kind of fulfilled the video is just making sure everything makes sense
Yeah.
and also have people see what places to check out if they're trying to go to Newport. Like I even put the titles there.
I saw.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I put the titles there. Just say go to
Exactly.
Moz Donuts, and then or go to this pier. You'll enjoy it. Or go to man, this is gonna really bother. I literally was there not long ago, and I can't even remember the name of the island. Block Island.
Block
It was
Island.
Block Island.
It looked really cool. It looked really peaceful and just chill.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and to have that be able to express it through a video,
Yeah.
that's like one of the reasons why I do like the content. It's because I want to share like what I experience with others, so that way they can experience it with me. But also, hey, he made it really look, you know, I want to go there. Like that. Like I feel like watching this video makes me want to go there. Like that's what I want from them to be able to capture.
Exactly.
And so that's why I be doing those kind of contents. Even before that, I think I did Philippines.
Yeah.
I did the
Mm-hmm.
kayaking and then scuba diving. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's always fun in the Philippines, but I want to make sure that people can watch that and be like, I got to go to the film. I had like a few people that reached out to me and actually saw the video,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Dude, you make me want to go to the Philippines." I'm like, "Dude, go!" Like that's why I put the video up there. Like you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I do it because for me, like I enjoy editing, I enjoy recording, but at the same time too, I want to make it a story where the story will convince you to go.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why like I do it all the time. I mean, I haven't done like I said, Rhode Island was the recent one. I might do one for Nashville because I've never been.
Yeah. Why not?
It's worth a shot. You know what I mean?
Nashville's great.
Yeah. The question is, going to it, what's the right music for Nashville?
Gotta do country.
It has to be
Gotta
right.
do country.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna like mix it up a little bit depending on the length of the video. I'll probably I would say like maybe 2 songs that will probably kind of connect with Nashville.
Why
So
don't
we'll
you
see.
talk more in your vlogs?
That's a great question. I actually talked a little bit in my previous like vlogs.
I saw those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
But then I think as time progressed, because
Yeah.
of so much content, and I feel like me just talking, I'll just be like, I'm just there. Like I think I'm just saying like, oh, so we just got done with this, blah blah
Yeah,
blah,
We're going here.
and we're gonna go here.
But I like it. It's like a nice break. And
You
you
think
get
so?
to-
I
I
might
like
have
it,
to.
honestly.
I might have to bring that back because I know the recent ones that I made there was no like like talks.
Not a lot.
It was
Even the
just
LA one with you and Semi, it was just kind of like you were
yes,
transitioning.
LA.
Yeah, you were transitioning us. We're like,
Yeah.
all right, we're in the here's a view of where we are. Now we're headed to whatever to meet up with this person. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, all right. At least I'm glad you got you gave me a take on it. So now I'll utilize that moving forward because I
Yeah.
always felt like, is it too long? Like me talking is gonna just extend and make it boring. Like I
I
don't
think that's
know.
the whole point of a vlog, right?
That's
And
true.
even
That's
doing
true.
voiceovers too of like the places you go. Like
Hmm.
I think something that you do in the videos is you set up, you packing up and then going there, arriving,
Oh yeah, the
unpacking.
transition.
Yeah, maybe at the
Yeah.
airport talking like you did it with the Philippines. Like, yeah, well, we're just here in the airport, so I guess we'll see what happens. Like
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
even voiceovers for when you do go to like the restaurant. Like, went to
Mm.
this restaurant, had this meal, it was pretty good. Or 0 out of 10. Something like
I like
that.
that.
I
I
just
like
like
okay.
hearing people's takes on things, and maybe I'm imposing my own creativity on you. Maybe that's how you want it. You want it to be more like, hey, here's the visual story, and you take it as it
No, it
is.
could be both. First of all, I like critiques because I like to know like where can I be better on what viewers like to see it. This also is a mix too. Maybe this is your creativity. Also, it's both. I think it's both because it's like, I could see her like I could see you making a vlog and maybe like talking about Paris. You know what I mean? Did you make a vlog for Paris?
No, I haven't
No,
done any vlogs yet because I just feel awkward. This is still very new to me. I'm
I
not
don't
used
blame
to
you.
being in front of a
It takes
camera or talking
no
or
you
like opening myself up.
no
So no.
you'll definitely get there because it's like
Yeah.
it's it's always the beginning that's rough, but then as
Mm-hmm.
time progresses, it's more you get more comfortable talking to a camera. I know when I first started doing my vlogs, it wasn't like travel contents yet. Actually, no, the first one was in Miami, I think. But talking to myself, like doing a selfie recording, and then just like, oh man, like if I mess up, I have to re-record it. But then
Mm,
as time progressed, I realized like I could just mess up what I say and I can always edit it.
yeah.
But then because I kept thinking that like psychologically, I got more
Uh,
comfortable just talk because knowing like I'm gonna edit it anyway,
yeah.
and then
Exactly.
I'll just say whatever bull, and then and
And
then
keep pushing.
yeah. But then it made me more comfortable on a screen.
Yeah.
It's really it's like easier said than done because like
Exactly.
you think talking to a camera is easy versus like talking like public speaking. Nah, it's actually hard.
It's
Like
really awkward. I'm
yeah, because
like
you're really
just
like
talking to a lens.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then my favorite is the people that you're surrounded by while you're doing it
Yes.
is another thing because you're looking like, hey guys, I'm here
Ah.
in Shake Shack. I'm gonna get myself a smoke shack and then maybe get a milkshake while somebody's just like
So just around, like,
just around.
so self-conscious. But I'm
Yeah,
sure they don't care. But in your head, you're just like,
yeah. That's the thing that always like I got better with as time progressed. I got better with it because knowing like what I don't care what they say. If someone's gonna stop me, let them stop me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just that area, those two areas is like the surroundings and then consistently recording yourself.
Mhm.
Like you're gonna get comfortable as time progresses, but in the beginning it's just like, oh damn, I gotta mess up, I gotta start over.
Yeah.
And then you start stuttering and you're I gotta start over. And then you start to think it's like,
Yeah.
man, this feels fake. This feels
Exactly.
fake.
And you don't want it to be fake, right?
Yeah, you want it to be
trying
like
to
natural and
show your
legit.
natural self.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
I'll get there.
I will take into consideration on being more verbal on the
Yeah.
vlogs because I always felt like it adds more like entertainment
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like me like I could be hammered and be like, man, I just got done with the bar with Summercore. I'm 3 drinks in and we're here in the middle of LA. What's up, guys?
Exactly.
Like, what's up?
Exactly. Like chill
Yeah,
times.
I gotta be
Exactly.
but I gotta be better with that. But yeah, like outside of work, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Obviously with events and with like weddings and stuff. I just been being me, just doing my
Yeah.
lifestyle, just kind of traveling and kind of like living life. Obviously, being with the fam too.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure like we're all on the same
Mm-hmm.
place. But yeah, no, like I go to the gym, constantly.
Nice.
Yeah, just work out. Like
Yeah.
it's hard though, cause like doing 3-4 days a week. I think the best part about my workplace is having the Fridays off.
Y'all have Fridays off?
We do. It's
Where do
crazy.
you work?
An aerospace defense company.
Wait, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Aerospace defense company. What do
Aerospace
you
and defense.
aerospace and defense. What
Yeah.
do you do? So when the Chinese balloons are flying through the air, do
Yo,
y'all
it's
handle that?
oh yeah, no, it's good. Oh man, I could tell you deeply into that. It's like so I'm in procurement. I'm a buyer.
Okay.
So I deal with like buying like raw materials and stuff like that. In the company, we have three business units. We have, oh, I think maybe four, but we have space, we have marine, and we have pass. I don't know if aerospace is its own unit or it's part of space,
Hmm.
but we can, I guess we'll add that as its own. So that's
Okay.
four. So I'm in the pass division or the pass business unit. So we deal with, it stands for power and actuation systems. If you really want me to tell you what it really is,
Yeah.
it's literally like missiles. Yeah. like we yeah, we deal with like if you look at a missile, I'm not going to go into detail with it cuz maybe there's some places it's going to be confidential, but I can tell you the brief summary of
Mm.
it. It's like
Give us the tea.
yeah, it's like the missile. So if you know like the back of the missile or like the butt of the missile and you know like the fins, so we make the control actuation system in there. So it's this little product thing that controls the direction of the missile. It's pretty
Interesting.
crazy, right? It's like one of those things where you're like, "Oh my god, like
That's a thing?
it's a thing." Yeah, cuz like think about like where the if that control actuation system is not there because it also has a software in there that controls it within the actuator. But when you
That
do
could be
that, it
destructive.
can be destructive. Yeah, so it's a huge importance to have that. And I know it's a weird.
That's so random. What'd you go to school for? This is so
I know, right?
random.
I went into graduated IT, and then I actually was supposed to go to DC when I graduated. I graduated a little later. I graduated in 2018 at Rutgers. I was supposed to go to DC for a contract job for I think it was IT security, and it was with the Department of Homeland Security. And I remembered when I signed the contract, right? Because the contract, like it's obviously like a starting salary, but if you do well, they're gonna, maybe they're gonna hire me full time and into the government. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Yeah. But I remembered, and this is 2018, so October, November, there was like a government shutdown. Do you
Yeah.
recall that?
Oh, there's been a lot. And then there's been a
Yeah. Do you
lot of
recall
threats to
that?
government. So I'm like, which
Yeah.
one?
So
Yeah.
whatever happened in October, because I
Yeah.
was supposed to
Yeah.
start around that time.
Yeah.
And they asked the guy, I was like, hey, like, are we good? Because I signed the contract because I got hired, right?
Yeah.
And something happened with the whole government shutdown that it completely like canceled the whole contract itself. So
Wow.
we came in with no answer, nothing.
Uh,
The last thing I ever heard was this government shutdown is pretty much messing up the contract. Like, I'll get back to you. And then nothing.
man.
Like, I even
Okay.
followed up like a
Mm-hmm.
week or two after, no
Mm-hmm.
response. So I knew, like, damn. So now I didn't care at that point. I wanted to apply for anything, like anything to give me an opportunity.
Hmm.
And then this is where the containerboard packaging company came into the play.
Okay.
And that's located in Piscataway, New
Yeah.
Jersey. So I remembered when I got hired, I was a design assistant for that company. And corrugated packaging, obviously, that's boxes. So I did like 2D CAD drawing, all new to it. But I think what caught their eye was the fact like even though it's not like IT in a ways, but they saw like, oh, this guy's like working his butt off to like kind of learn new things.
Yeah.
And so as time progressed, then they hired me full time to a customer service rep
Okay.
in that company. So now when I got that role, right, keep in mind, like I love the company. The people there were like really, really nice, but I couldn't see myself there because it felt like a cycle.
Hmm.
So now I kind of wanted to move into somewhere else,
Okay.
and that's where the supply chain came in.
Okay.
So my second job, I was there for like what 3.5 years, so it's a good tenure, right?
Yeah.
Got my second job here in Hackettstown, and literally like down the road, 5 minutes, nice commute. Like I don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
it's
anything at all.
perfect.
It's perfect, right? And so that was my first time learning supply chain. I was a supply chain specialist for that company. And so keep in mind, it's the company, it's a private company, but I felt like I got thrown into the fire. So now it's like, yeah, I was trained the software a little bit, but you're kind of on your own. So I had to kind of like
Yeah.
work to find things on the process of supply chain because I wasn't just buying stuff. I was literally following up with suppliers, asking where the parts are,
Oh
and then
wow.
I'm sending like parts, raw materials like to China because we have a
Wow.
sister company in China.
Yeah.
So I was doing all
It's
that
a
for like
sink or swim situation.
yeah,
That's
it was, it
crazy.
was. I was thankful to learn from that because
Yeah.
it allowed me to grow on being able to ask more questions, being able
Okay.
to jump into situations where
Yeah.
I want to get it done, so that way we get revenue.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I knew personally for me, I knew that company was like not stable. So I
Mm.
knew like, and also like the pay I was getting wasn't enough because I was like,
Oh, that's a big factor.
yeah, like
That's a
why am
huge
I yeah
factor.
like why am I doing all this and like I'm not getting like
Yeah.
good increases. You know what I mean?
And would you ask like, "Hey, annual
Oh
review, can
oh I
I
didn't
get a
even I
raise
didn't even need to ask. I had a few coworkers that did already, and they were just like nothing's happening. And
for
I'm
you?"
no like for
Oh, the
themselves.
asked.
Yeah,
Oh, so
and they're
yeah.
good too.
Mhm.
So that's when I knew like
There's no
why
way
even
up.
asking? Like
Yeah.
I gotta. So thankfully I did 2 years there, and then this company came in.
Okay.
And keep in mind, this company, what I love about this company is their culture.
Mhm.
They actually hit 3 years in a row NJ.com's like top workplaces, and this year they got ranked first, which is huge.
Well,
And then this year they I think for the first time they hit USA Today's
hmm.
like top company
Would you
workplaces.
agree with that?
I mean, from my experience so far, yeah, just because the people, it can be stressful though, but I like how the people are, and like communicating with you, saying, "Hey, is everything okay? Do you need help with anything?" You know, and it makes me want to do the same thing. Where I'm like, because I'm always like that. I always want to make sure, like, "Hey, are you good? Like, do you need something from me,
Mm,
like to get your
yeah.
job done?"
Mhm.
That was the culture, because and
Okay, that's
they
good.
they want people to grow.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing. They have opportunities internally,
Mhm.
and they want you to like, "Hey, we got classes for
Mhm.
you. We can reimburse tuitions for you. We want you to explore.
That's
Like if you
good.
want to grow, we can take care of that for you."
That's good.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
and they do they have quarterly bonuses. I was
Quarterly
quarterly
bonuses.
keyword
I've
quarterly.
never heard of that in my
Me either. I
life.
never heard
I
that.
mean, when you
And
make
then
a missiles, I'm sure y'all
yeah,
bringing in some bank, so you
yeah,
can do
it's a
that a
it's
little.
such a weird like no, it's I don't say no, it is a weird. It's good and bad because like good, the business booming. The business unit is going
Oh, I can
skyrocket.
imagine. There's a
Yes. But
bunch
you
of
can imagine the other reason why I'm thinking this is because of what's going on.
exactly
Exactly.
hella wars going on. Probably a third one on the way, or another one
Yeah.
on the way.
And that's why I
Yup.
get worried because I see this dynamic where I'm like, yeah, our business is booming, but
But you,
there's a
that's
reason why it's booming
why.
because of the
That's
society and the whatever is going.
crazy.
It's a weird dynamic. I mean, like I said, my manager said it best for me because he was just like, listen, at the end of it all, like what you're trying to do, I get it. They are missiles. You know what they do.
Exactly. How do you square that circle?
Well, the best approach for it is like it's weird because it's like, damn, like killing is involved. Yeah, but think of it this way: like at the end of this, you're buying all this to protect your warfighters. You're trying to get them home because
Mhm.
it's like these things are like, yeah, they're sensitive like touches, but you're doing this to protect like the U.S. because it's government. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird dynamic that I have to think of it that way
Yeah.
because it's like I don't want to think of this as a bad reason. Like there's good reasons why we're doing this. It's just like, oh, it sucks because it's like I know that it's in the other side of the world, yes, but real like at the end of it too, it's like get them home, like send like get them home at all costs. Like that's the point. You just do this,
And for
protect.
you, I guess it's almost like I
Yeah,
guess does it not matter who they're fighting? I guess is your thing. Like, does
Eh,
it matter
yeah. It's like
who
a
it's going to? You know what I mean? Because then it's like
yeah,
it kind of pulls on your moral heartstrings, where it's like, yeah, we're trying to keep our
yeah.
soldiers safe, our people safe,
But
but
then
who
we're
they're fighting was like, is that morally? You know
it
what I mean?
sucks.
Like, do you
No,
agree with it? Do you disagree? Yeah,
it sucks. I can't even give you that answer. It's
yeah.
like because we're U.S. citizens. Okay, I can agree to it. But it's like a good example, right? Say if the enemy is like Philippines, that sucks because it's like that is my home.
Already.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like my parents' homeland. You know what I mean? Like think about it's like how do I approach this? You know, it's like a battle mentally of
Literally.
yeah,
You kind of have to what is it? What do you call that?
yeah, you
Disconnect. I'm not, the word is escaping right now, but basically like disconnect
yeah,
from that a bit.
yeah. It's kind of like you have to um, what's it called? You have to kind of clear out the emotional part. It's kind of like yes,
Yeah.
this is Philippines, but really in my job it's we're US. All our materials, yeah, all our
Interesting.
materials are not from any other country but US, unless we have like exceptions. But like
Mhm.
all materials are like US based. Like we can't
Mhm.
go anywhere else. Blah blah blah. Because these are government missiles.
Yeah.
Like we can't have any other country's parts in a missile.
Yeah.
Because what if they destroy it or something like that? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like that's how
Oh, that's tough. That's
it.
a tough one for
It's
sure.
tough.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Woo!
So
Wow! Wow! Wow!
yeah. So I know it's outside of work, but
I
that
know,
was
right?
like,
No, but I
but you
never would
know,
have thought that.
right?
I
Yeah.
knew you. I definitely knew you were in supply chain, but that I didn't know that you
Yeah.
got a new gig where you're basically like,
This involves the
this.
world.
That's what I'm saying.
It involves
That
the
is
world.
very fascinating. I would love to hear a year from now how you feel about it all for
I
sure
will.
to see how it's going.
It's already what been 7 months, and like
Yeah.
I'm still learning, but I learned a lot in 7 months, like knowing
Wow.
who the suppliers to go to, the reasonings why we do this,
Mhm.
you know, what are the outcomes and stuff, and why deadlines are huge. Like I think I have one program right now. It's huge right now. I mean, I'm honored to be part of that program, like running it in the supply chain
Wow.
part of it, but it's like a lot of pressure
Yeah.
because it's like this needs to be done. You know, like our customers are huge. Like
Exactly.
yeah, like our biggest customer, you probably know them, Lockheed Martin.
I,
Lock,
I thought you were working for Lockheed Martin when
no,
you
no,
said
no,
you
but
make a bit.
they are
I was
they
like,
yeah yeah
I
they
know
were
that's who you were working for.
yeah
I was like, yeah, they got some money.
they got some yeah we deal with them a lot. I think the most, and then there's like Northrop Grumman. There's
Mm.
what's it called? There's Boeing.
Mhm.
I think Boeing's more no. Boeing Aerospace, I think Boeing's more aerospace, but we deal with Boeing though.
Yeah, yeah, I could
Actually, we
see
deal with
that.
Boeing, yeah, and then we deal with was it BAE?
Hmm.
BAE. So all these big SpaceX, another we deal with SpaceX,
Wow.
yeah. So these are like big customers that
Yeah,
yeah, we got to make sure we get it done for them and hit a
get it
deadline.
done.
So, but
Whew.
outside of that, like
You
everything's been great.
outside of that, I like to meet new people, travel different
Yeah, I mean,
places.
travel different places, and
That is
then
so funny.
yeah, and then this came into the picture, but
Yeah. Well, I'm wishing you all the best. I can't wait to hear like how that turns out in
oh yeah, and
yeah,
like within a
in
year
a
or so,
couple.
yeah.
Exactly. Something that I really love is like on
Mm,
social media you don't post about work. Now I can see why, but you
mm-hmm.
don't post about any even with your other jobs.
Yeah,
And I see that a lot with other people too. And I guess it's a dumb realization for me because I would just post my work all the time.
yeah, which is
Being
fine
in
though, because like
media.
if it doesn't impact with
Yeah,
work,
I guess, but for me,
yeah,
it's just kind of like when I first started. Well, I had this mentee right ask me once. She was about to
mm-hmm.
graduate. She was like,
Yeah,
"Do you mix your personal posts with your work posts, or do you separate them?" And at the
mm-hmm.
time, I was like, "Oh, just put them all together. It's all the same. Like,
Yeah,
what does it matter?" And then it didn't occur to me until now.
mm-hmm.
I never even answered your question about why I started the podcast, but like it didn't click until now that they
Mm.
should be separate because one, I don't know, I have this new mentality now ever since because I got laid off in January,
Right,
and
yeah,
it definitely opened up a whole new world of
like
things for me.
spectrum, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
realizing that I've been focusing too much on work, been neglecting my family a bit, like we talked about. That's a huge
that's a huge deal.
thing for me,
Yeah,
and so with that, I'm like, no, these should be completely separate because one should not bleed into the other. One should not correlate to the other. And it's almost
mm-hmm.
like if you lose a part of one, it doesn't feel like you're losing yourself. And
Right.
that's what I felt like when I got laid off. And so making outside of work is kind of like, let me try to find concertedly understand who I am outside
Mm.
the context of my job that I've been making number one for the past 8.5 years.
That's how you got into
Into
doing this
this
podcast, right? Oh,
exactly.
that's so cool.
And for
That's so
you,
cool.
it's always been separate. I don't even know what you do unless I ask you.
Yeah.
And I love that very much. And you post, about family, friends, everything, your trips, everything that you
Yeah.
do. Was that on purpose for you? And then a second question to that is like, what do you look for in a friendship?
Oh, of course. So I always try to separate. Like I said, this is like still new for me. But yes, that was also a factor where I don't post as much because of work. Because it's one of those things where like kind of like I think I think just a me thing too, where I like to keep things like separate,
Yeah.
like work and maybe if there's somebody from like one of my coworkers like they see something and they're just like oh. You know what I mean? I try to do what I can to keep things like separate at
Yeah.
all costs.
I
You know what I
see.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just how I am. Like that's also another thing. That's
I
just a
think it's
me thing.
smart.
Yeah. Even with like and just to add on to it, even like if I'm ever in like relationships, I know I was in a previous one, and I try to do things to keep it like private, like between us. You know what I mean? It's so weird, especially for a person like myself, be posting about like my content,
Everything, yeah.
but like I separate that to
Yeah.
like
Why is that?
I don't know. I think I like the privacy. Like I always like to keep things like kind of
Same.
yeah. Like if I had now all my close friends, they will know. Like outside of that, they will know. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Unless like people like ask,
You're
I'll
not
tell
gonna
them.
know.
I'll tell
Yeah.
how it is. Like this podcast, like we're talking about everything. Like what I do, besides outside of work, inside of work, relationships and stuff like that. What I've been doing and stuff. Like I'm open to expressing it. You know what I mean?
But you're not so much gonna post it on social, like
Yeah,
all
like
the
I'm not
time
gonna
with
put.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I remember when me and the ex, like we had like I think it was the first time we like posted something, like as a collab. I think it's still on. I think it's still on my Instagram to be quite honest.
Was it the one in autumn or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so
yeah.
nice.
It was a good. It's a great
It's a
picture
good
though. It's a
picture.
good picture. Yeah, it just sucks. It's like, damn. Like I said, we ended like mutually. It's now like shit. Should I?
Should you take it
Should I take it
down?
down? I feel like I should, but then she can also take it down too. But we both like kind of like left. I guess
You
left it
both left it up.
as is. Yeah, I
That's
constantly.
interesting.
Yeah, I kind of like forgot about it though. I kind of forgot, but like, yeah, when that happened, and then it was a collaborative. I think it was like what collaborative like post or whatever. Yo, because I never tell anybody like my relationships unless like you're a close friend of mine. And the minute that got posted,
Yep.
and then everybody was booming on my texting. They were just like, "Yo, who is this girl? Like, wait, how did I not know about this?
How long
Why
has it
didn't
been
you
going
tell me?
on?
How long is going on?" And I'm like, "Ah, shit! Like this is gonna be a nah." So I started kind of yeah. So I started telling people like, yeah, like we started dating like not too long ago. We were going on dates prior to that. And yeah, we just kind of hit it off. We made it official recently, and then they were, "Oh my god, it's like I've never seen you in a relationship." La la la. And I'm like, "All right, take it easy,
Like,
there,
chill
right?
out, bro. Yeah.
Chill out,
But I
man."
definitely do understand the
Yeah,
privacy part of it. I
I
could
love.
definitely relate to that.
Yeah,
I don't post like Andre a lot either. And like some people are like, I didn't know you were in a relationship. I was like, yeah, it's been 5 years.
it's been 5 years, but it's nice though because like maybe he's the type of guy that doesn't want to be shown to the public world, even though
Yeah, he
but
doesn't post much either.
yeah, the relationship though, it's like I like it outside of the social media.
Yeah.
Because I like it because that's more natural, more
Yeah.
emotional. Like I don't have to share. I mean, yeah, we'll share sometimes once in a while, but it's just the outside of the social media and just the connection between us is more important.
Exactly.
Like I don't care if anybody else doesn't know about it, they don't need to know about it.
Exactly.
Don't need
It's
to
not
know
their
about
business. It's
that.
none of your
Yeah.
business. This is my relationship.
It's my relationship.
I don't need people's,
Yeah, I don't need if you're gonna know, you're gonna know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But like I said, that post, oh my god, when that dropped, I was like, oh man,
Yeah,
everyone's gonna be
yeah.
asking me like questions, like because nobody knew. Nobody knew. I think only a few knew, and even some of my close friends, like they didn't even know till later. They were like, "So I heard you talking to somebody." I was
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
"Yeah," and they
Yeah.
were just like, "What the fuck?" But sorry,
Exactly.
yeah. But going back to it, yeah, like I keep that separate.
Yeah.
I try my best. Like I don't
Yeah.
like it's not like one of those things where it's just like no, like I will never. Like it's a once in a while. Like maybe I might post something here and there, but I try to limit the posts because of what I got going on in life.
Yeah,
You know what I
feel
mean?
you.
Yeah. No excuse though. I still need to do my podcast. I gotta be better, like trying to be consistent. That's another
Yeah,
thing. That was one of those things, like, but you know, like what I'm going through. It's like one of
exactly.
those, like, damn, like trying to schedule people, work. That was
Yeah,
another thing, and then like the breakup and
it's a
family. It's a
lot.
lot. So it's like one of the things. Like those are the priorities I got to focus on right now.
Exactly.
Podcasting, like I'm trying to get back to that place.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of hard because like that, and then obviously trying to schedule with people is another
Exactly. And then
thing.
also, it's not like a podcast just comes together. It just slaps you. You
Yeah.
have to edit it. You have to like do the
Oh my
cover art.
gosh.
You have to do all these
All
things.
the
There's so many. That's what
thumbnail
I'm
is like
saying.
it's a lot.
Descriptions, like all this stuff. People don't
Yeah.
realize how much goes into it. And they think it's
Ye-
just, oh, just sit down and
Yep.
chit
Yep.
chat.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
no.
Now, did I answer?
No, yeah, my other
Yeah,
question.
I was
So
forgetting what the
what
other question was. It was like,
one, how the heck do you make friends as an adult? Because I don't know how to. And then two, what do you look for in a friendship?
okay, those are two good questions. The first one, like I said, events. Goes
Events.
events, or maybe if you do like activities. So like
Mm-hmm.
say if you want to go to like a what's it called, the Zumba class.
Yeah.
You make friends from there. Zumba classes. I always, for me, me, I'm always going places, so that's how I meet new people. The other day, I actually met. We just became friends recently, and him and his fiance. I met them through a barbecue from
Oh,
one of my old coworkers, and we like hit it off because
nice.
he's living in Morristown, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, trying to do like happy hour and stuff. He's like, oh, dude, like I know like a good happy hour spot, and I'm like, no way, like you want to like let's just meet up, and
Yeah.
then we ended up like we got each other's Instagrams,
Mm-hmm.
and then we kind of exchange it. And now here's the crazy part. It's
Yeah.
like, are they willing to make the effort to
That's
show
what
up?
I'm saying. Cause like you could do that and it's like all cute and all. Like I do that
Yeah,
with friends now. There's a friend I haven't seen in like 2
yeah,
years, but
yeah.
but it's just kind of like it's the effort,
It's the
the
effort.
follow up, the keeping
Yeah,
up with people.
yeah. That's the toughest part because you'll
Yeah.
see if they want to be. It's a weird dynamic, but it makes sense because it's like
Mm-hmm.
if they're willing to hang out with you, they will respond. They will tell you like, "Hey, what time are you going to be here?" You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And he actually was able to show up, and he got a chance to not only like I get a chance to meet him and get to know him more, but I also invited some of my friends to get a chance to he gets a chance to
Oh,
meet
that's
them.
so
Yeah,
awesome.
so I'm always like a person to have different groups meet each other.
Yeah.
That's like that was always like my
That would
thing.
scare me, like mixing friend groups. It's like I
No,
don't
it's
know if
not.
they're gonna vibe. I don't know if it's gonna
Yeah,
be a good
it's
time.
always worth a shot, and if you know it ain't vibing, it ain't vibing. But I know what you mean. It's like yeah, it's
Exactly.
like that. Um, I think another thing that I value is they want to try new things. They want to try like new
Yeah.
places. You know what I mean?
Sounds like your relationship. You're
Yeah, it's like a yeah, it's like a vibe. Yeah,
yeah.
like that's kind of how it is with me. I'm like a weird, like I'm like a friend with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
like type deal. But I always want to make sure like my friends and other group of friends meet each other and then they get along and stuff. Actually, I'm not even gonna lie. I think some of my friends, like I guess like they met through me, I guess,
Mm.
ended up being in like relationships.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's
Look
pretty
at
it's
you.
pretty cool. It's like a I don't know how to explain it. What, like
Matchmaking.
Cupid or
Yeah,
something? Yeah.
exactly.
And like it worked out. Like it worked out and then there's some that didn't, which kind of sucks. So I have to witness that cuz I'm kind of like the middle person in it.
Yeah.
But I always enjoyed like meeting people. Like the value of a friendship is they make the effort. I think that's the most important thing.
Okay.
Like
I
they
dig
make the
it.
effort. They want to see me.
Yeah.
Like okay, great, and I will do the same. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
problem is, and I go back to this, I have too many. It's a too many.
Oh
Like
darn.
it's
If
a
only we could have too many
it's
friends,
too
Jan.
nah, it sucks. It's like I said. If you're trying, like I realize, like meeting too many friends, and now you're getting invited to so many,
Yeah. All
so
these
many weddings.
obligations.
Oh
Darn.
Lord. I mean, nothing wrong with it, but
Yeah,
as
yeah.
I realize, like, oh
Yeah.
man, it
Maybe you gotta
sucks. I
reel
gotta
it in
like,
a little.
yeah, and this is where that who are your real friends are kind of comes
Yeah,
in.
very
Like
much
that's where,
so.
yeah, like I know who the real peeps are,
Mhm.
and like if there's anything that I need to talk about, I know who I can reach out to.
Oh, that's
Like,
good.
yeah, so that is huge for me.
That's
So like as
good.
much as I like meeting new friends,
Yeah.
like I know like and some of them may grow into becoming like true homies like later down the
Nice.
road. But I know people that I've been like in touch with for a decade already. So I knew like, yeah, they're the ones I have to
They're the
have
ones.
around. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because they can always, get me through life.
exactly.
And vice versa. Like they ask me some of their situations, and I
Hmm.
try to do what I can to like, hey, like, you know, don't think too into it. Just
Yeah.
focus on you. Like, love yourself. I always say love yourself first,
Mm.
because at the end of it, like, yeah, like mentally, whatever you're going through, like it's gonna take a toll, but you always gonna make sure you come first. Like you yourself come first to make sure that you're okay.
Have you been in a position where you've had to love yourself, like you didn't feel like you did, and you
Oh,
had to make
absolutely.
that switch?
Oh, absolutely. Like sometimes, even in the past, where I felt like I was like, damn, like I wasn't thinking about myself.
Hmm.
I was more thinking about the situation. I'm like, oh my God, like what if I could have done this? I could have been, whatever, why did I go through this situation? Blah, blah, blah. And then this is where my close friends come in.
Yeah.
They're like, keep your head up. Like, don't think too much into it. Like, you are good. You need to just focus on you. Like, don't worry about anybody else right now. Just be yourself, do new things, like, try new things,
Mm-hmm.
go from there.
I love
You know what I
that.
mean? And if you need to talk, don't be afraid to reach out. So that hit. And when I heard that, I was like, oof. Yeah, I gotta really like start thinking about myself. I remember looking myself in the mirror, seeing like, situations like, what am I doing? Like, why am I like thinking so much into this when I can be doing this? Let me just do it. Not think, just do it. And when I started to do it, then I started like learning like, new things on what I
Mm-hmm.
just did.
Mm-hmm.
I know the gym was definitely a big one. I
People
never
don't realize how much working out like helps your mental.
It helps a lot mentally.
Huge. Like running for me is like I call
Mm.
that therapy. I don't even
There
call it
it
running.
is. For me it's the gym, basketball. I've been doing a lot of basketball, so that's been
Mm-hmm.
great. Cardio. Get a
Dancing.
dancing is
I
yeah,
see you breaking. I'm
dancing,
like, what?
yeah, yeah. That puts me in like my inner peace,
Yeah.
because like sometimes like when I listen to music for sure, but music while just doing the rhythm and doing it, just like I just let go, and it makes me like just be in a different world
I love that.
from everybody, because it's just I'm just flowing with my body. I just want to like, that's just like my happy
I
place.
love that.
Yeah. And then when I get done, I just feel more free.
Mm.
And it's just like, okay, like this is who I am. Like I love myself to a degree where, yeah, like of course we're going to be in situations where pain's going to be involved. Like emotionally, psychologically, even physically, like if you're in, pain, but like, you know, you need that. Like you
Mm.
need things that will, make you be you and be yourself and even be able to heal, you know? And obviously, most importantly, your friends and family.
Yeah.
Like they'll be the ones to tell it how it is.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna pick you up. They even will tell you the real shit.
Yes.
They're gonna be like, Jan, like what the hell are you doing? Like, can
Exactly.
you stop? Like,
Uh
can you
huh.
stop looking like a potato and just
Stop looking like a
stop looking
potato.
like a whole ass potato and get your ass
Exactly.
back out there? Like, they know, because like they know like
Exactly.
I do whatever, like,
Mhm.
and I like to learn things. So when they see me like on a down, they're gonna pick me back up. It's gonna
I
take
love
time,
that.
but needing that therapy from like your friends, your family, your basically what you love doing, that saves me. It takes me like to a place where I'm like,
Mm.
I'm gonna be okay.
You're gonna be good.
I'm gonna be fine. This is just another obstacle that I have to learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like one of those things where you're just like you're gonna be damaged. You're gonna have band-aids around, but you have a strong like emotional like
Foundation.
foundation and
Yeah.
strong mental foundation,
Yeah.
because you have that's a big one. I think the
Yeah.
big one is having uh who you're surrounded with.
Exactly. I say that
Mm,
definitely. If
yeah,
if
so
I
like
didn't
for
have the
you,
type of people around me
yeah,
when I've been going through all the roller
the
coaster
roller
of
coaster,
life,
it
like
sucks.
it
You won't.
grounds you and it also like reminds you like
Hmm.
yeah, we're going through this hard time now, but things will be you can't see it in the moment. Like even in the moment right now, I'm like,
Yeah,
can't see it, but
yeah.
it'll be okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I know for you, like I don't, like I said, we haven't spoken prior to like recently, and then the podcast from last year. I didn't know what you were up to. I know you were doing your thing though, because I know you were like a producer for what was it? Was it and it was
Oh yes, for NBC.
NBC, right? Like you were
Mhm.
doing your thing,
Yeah.
but you have your own life going on with like the close people. So I don't even know, like you probably had been through some scenarios
Mhm.
during that time frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, like could be
Mhm.
like a career like obstacle course, or it could have been like a relationship obstacle course. Like I don't know.
Exactly.
Like it's but you have the surroundings. Like
Exactly.
who your
Have my
real ones are.
people.
Yeah, you have your
Mhm.
people. Like and I have my people.
Exactly.
Without them, like I
I don't even
man,
know, right?
I don't even know where I would be,
Yeah.
honestly. Like it's a big thing because if they're not in the picture, like I don't know, man. I would
Exactly.
be going through so much depression. Like I would just be
Mhm.
like, oh Lord. But that's just yeah, that's like a. But going back to it, like the value of friendship is cult. Like they like to try new things, explore new things, and also too like they put me in my place.
Mm.
Like they tell me like
They can be honest with
when they be
you.
honest with me,
I think that's
I
yeah.
love honesty. Like
Mhm.
I know not for many because I don't know.
Oh, I lost a friendship because I was honest with someone and they didn't
Oh
like
yeah,
it. Yeah.
oh, that
They
sucks.
tried to make me be like, say this and then continue being friends. I was like, bitch, bye. Cause what?
Nah, nah, nah,
Like that is
nah,
insane. That's
nah,
not how friendship works. If I can't
nah.
be honest with you now,
Yeah,
then I can never be honest with you.
honestly,
And then that tells me that you're not being honest with me.
yeah.
So
It's like you're
it's
lying.
done.
Yeah, and like that. Oh, that's huge because it's
Mhm.
like I've had a few. Like again, it's I don't know if it's. I always try to think of reasonings before I make that like no, I'm done with you. Right? Like I always try to be what's it called? What's that word? I'm trying to be more understanding.
Okay.
Like I want to understand before I make a decision where you're done.
Yeah.
Like I'm cutting you out of my life.
Yeah.
I've done that, and
It has to take a lot to like officially
yeah,
cut someone out of your life for sure.
yeah,
It's not
and
like an easy decision.
exactly. And you think it through first before you
It's
make that.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, like I think it through, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you've been a negative impact every time I'm with you,
Yeah.
and like I just can't keep going because like I'm trying to work things out with you, but you keep blaming me for whatever reason, and now I have
Exactly.
to make like a ultimatum. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what,
Yeah.
I you're being so negative from my perspective.
Yeah.
I have to cut things with you. Like bye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So definitely honesty and friendship,
honesty and
being
friendship.
being open to doing things and
Yeah,
yeah, just vibing. I love it. I really do
yeah.
love it. And Jan, like, thank you so much. I like your perspective
Of course, of
on
course. Thank you for
things
having
has
me.
been eye opening for me. I love catching up with you every time. It's such a
Of
good
course, of
conversation.
course.
Yeah.
We got to catch up again though. We do definitely got to catch up
Right
again.
outside of the podcast.
Yes, I'll let you know how it is with my company. Be like,
Yeah.
I just hit a couple missiles that we just got. Like, it's crazy. Oh my god. Like
Insane.
it just thinking about it is just like, oh my god. But anyways, no,
Yeah.
I appreciate you having me on the podcast, and I'm excited to see how this pans out once everything's like uploaded. So thank you again.
Appreciate it.
Of
Thanks,
course, no
Jan.
problem, no problem. We out.
Out. Hey there, one more thing before you go. First, thank you so much for watching and listening. You didn't have to. You could have done literally anything else with your time. So I am so appreciative. Number two, if you liked what you heard or you resonated with anything, please like, comment, subscribe. Do all the things. All the links will be in the show notes so we can continue exploring this wild, weird, wacky, and awesomely wonderful world outside of work.
The
Yeah.
problem is, and I go back to this, I have too many. It's a too many
Oh
like
darn!
it's
If
a
only we could
it,
have too many
it's
friends,
too it's
Jan.
nah, it sucks.